There are private Docker repositories like GitHub Container Repository, which can be which are useful if you have private code or other images that you don't. However, as mentioned here, we're going to be publishing this image to Docker Hub. Okay, so the first step is to create a repo on GitHub. The repo for this project is linked. I guess. That's a time for us to create a repo for this. So Dockerize Helix. So we're gonna get in it. Right. I don't need that Tokyo Night.toml. We just need the config and the Docker file. So let's see, we have Docker file config. Okay, so this is our initial commit. GitHub repo create. Push existing, that one. Okay, so we put Dockerized Helix. Builds, description. Okay, so Dockerized Helix, Docker can Dockerize. I don't know. Do I even need a? I don't need a description. Public. Yes. 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 And pushed. So I should be able to find this now here. Dockerized Helix. Here we go. So with that, and also we have you here. Okay, so all right, so the first step is to create a repo on GitHub, and then I link to the repo that I've created. We're going to be publishing this image to Docker Hub, so having this be open source is fine. There are private Docker repositories like GitHub Container Repository, which are useful if you have private code or other images that you don't want publicly available. But we're not going to be using those. We're just going to be using Docker Hub. Okay, so we have that repo. So create a repo. Next up, we want to, I don't know if I want to use this as like subtitles. That might be too big. Maybe not. I don't know. Next is going to be create a Docker file. So create Docker file. Let's see. We'll need to decide what operating system to base this on. Since Helix is going to require a lot of build tools, we want to keep things as slim as possible. So we'll be going with Alpine. Ubuntu is another great choice. And a lot of public images choose it. I'm going to go with Alpine here for creating this for the reason that I just said, but also because I don't think very many tutorials go with Alpine, and therefore this can give you be something more to go with. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's something good, something helpful. Okay. All right. So that means we start with this. We want to Helix in our Docker file. So we're going to start with the from Alpine latest. Now, when I first did this, we did from Alpine latest. We didn't have the APK stuff. We know we want the volume code. So we're gonna take that. Worked code. And that's pretty much what we're starting with, right? Okay, so we start with this, and then we run our, then we run it. We run our, we build, and then we build and run our new container. 3 letters. Hello, how are you doing today? And then Shandan, hello, how are you? Please make more video. I am. These live streams obviously become like the VODs in there. But yeah, I'm slowly going through and creating cut videos from those live streams. So it is happening, but slowly. Comtex, hello. How are you doing as well? You love the Axum playlist. Thank you. I'm glad that the Axum playlist is still really useful and helpful, even though there's been several different updates since then. Okay, so we'll start with this, and we build and run our new container. What do Okay, yeah, we'll start, and then we build and run our new container in interactive mode. So we can investigate how to set up Helix inside. Uh, how to set up Helix. Can I make an Instagram deactivation bot? What does that mean? I'm not like, I have an Instagram account, but I'm not really like a heavy user of Instagram. So I don't really know. I don't really know Instagram. What does Instagram deactivation bot mean? Okay, so this was the first step is all of these got commented out and we didn't even have an entry point. We just did that. And then, oh, I forgot I had all these other windows. I was full screen over there. Okay, never mind. That's okay. So this one, with that being set up, we're gonna do a Docker build, tbrook-zerker, Helix latest, dot. Okay, so it's fine. I'll be fine with this. So we hit you. Oh, there's a way for me to get rid of the cache, right? Have that not show up. Is it like no cache? Yeah, no cache. Do not use cache when building the image. Okay. No cache. Dash T Zerker Helix latest dot. It'd be helpful if I spelled cache correctly. Okay. Right. There's definitely not much to do in here. So build you. Okay, so then we're going to connect into it. We're gonna do Docker run it remove. We could do a volume for pwd code. Oh, I'm in the wrong directory. I want to be in the Docker. Yeah. Code, and now there's gonna be Berserker, Helix, latest, like that. Oh, and then I want to bin bash. And I think this, oh, it's dash it. This is gonna fail. Oh shoot. Didn't I just overwrite this with a new build? Also, why did that not take in? Why did it run? Why did it actually run it? Okay, so Docker images have a bunch of unlinked ones. So the one, oh, it didn't create this. My Docker build didn't work. No cache. Okay, so T, Berserker Helix, latest. Okay, so let's call this like new build. So, I'll call this like step 1. So now if I run this, step 1. Yes, okay. So perfect. All right. Oh, I need to update you. Step 1. The image got created correctly, but we already have run into an issue. Bash is not found in the container. Turns out that the default shell for Alpine is Ash. Since we don't want to install, since we don't want to install like extra stuff that we don't need, we'll need to use Ash. So as part of this, I'm trying to give the impression, I guess like just this idea that of like how to like not just like a step-by-step guide, but I'm hoping that like this is also the mentality that I'm trying to record that down too. Would you consider making another series in Tokyo Stack crates? Tower, Tonic. Yeah, I might consider that. I don't know if I would do a series like on each of those like specifically unless I had something like to build with it or like to do with it, because I don't know like what I would do for like Tower itself. Beside, I mean, I guess we could do a deep dive type thing, but I feel like John Hu does that really well, and I don't know if I don't think I could do it as good as him as he does. And I know he's gonna do. I know he either has done one or is planning on doing one on a bunch of like Tokyo stuff. But if there's something for like a like a project or something like around it that would be interesting and I can think of it, then yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that. It'd be fun and sort of like show off how to use it. So the answer is yes, with that question mark in it. All right, so let's do, nope. I'm still in that mode. Okay, so we're going to go to bin ash, and that drops us in. Okay, there we go. We're happy. Great. We have successfully created a bare bones container image. Now we need to draw the rest of the owl. Now we need to figure out how to install Helix. Now, how did I install Helix? What did I choose to do? I did. Okay, so I found it in APK. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say APK update, and that does this. And then we're gonna say APK search Helix, APK info Helix, just to make sure it's what we think that it is. Okay, let's go find APK link. Let's see, this is, okay, the actual Alpine Linux docs, so perfect. Okay, so that goes in there. Okay, great. So we now have, so we found it. Installing Helix is as easy as APK add Helix. And I think at this point, if I just run Helix, oh, it doesn't find it. Right. Why doesn't it find it? Oh, right, because it's HL. What's wrong with me? Because I use this all the time. Okay, so we then do HX and we find it. So, we can now use the command HX to run Helix. Don't forget that we can, okay, don't forget, it's just like, let's quit out. We don't need to do anything with Helix right now. So let's quit with the command colon Q. Enter. Oh, nope. Okay, there. All right, so we can now use the command hx to run Helix. We don't need, so something, I did not read this properly last time. I think I was so excited. Hey, it's there. We installed it. I didn't read this part at all, which is like, hey, the tree sitter grammars are packaged separately. You can either install the selected package or use a meta package, tree sitter grammars, to install all of them. Probably would have been a good idea. But okay, so we're going to, over here, we're going to do this run APK. So we're going to start off the way we did it before, right? So we're going to do APK update and APK add Helix. I should probably just mention this now, right? Would this be tree sitter APK add tree sitter grammars? Yeah, okay, so that just adds them all. So we'll just do add Helix tree sitter grammars. Okay, that will add them, and we are okay. So if we do that, now we'll have entry point hx that we can do here at this point. So turn you off. All right, so we can now, if you run the command hx, we don't need anything. So let's note that where's the thing where it talks about that? Oh, right here. I was looking up here. Okay, so note that APK told us that we need to install something called tree sitter for Helix to work correctly. Apparently there is a meta package that will work with all languages. So let's use that. All right, and then down here we're gonna have let's go back and add what we've learned into the Docker file. Okay, so let's go back and add what we learned into the Docker file. We can okay, so we'll delete you. We don't have any of you yet. All right, so we've added the run command to APK. Let's see, to update APK and install Helix and the tree sitter grammars. We've also added an entry point. An entry point is similar to a command, but it's meant for images, for Docker images that will be used as executables. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so we've got that. Let's come back up here and update some of these. So tree sitter, you want a link. Is this gonna work? I feel like that's a bad idea. Tree sitter Helix. Tree sitter languages. Okay. Here. A Wikipedia page on it. Okay, so for Helix, okay, we got that. And then, okay, so then here we're gonna do this code, add that. Okay. All right, so let's go back, add what we've learned into the Docker file. There we go. Okay, we've added the run command. We've added an entry point. That's great. All right. Let's quit out of the running container and rebuild the image and connect back in for and connect back in. So we'll do this all together in one go. All right, so we quit out of view. Come over here, make sure we saved. We're gonna do a Docker build, but I don't need the no cache anymore. I want this is now step 2. Docker run step 2, and I want this testing, but without that. So we just want to see, does it drop me in here? And it does. All right, so this is all one line. I want that. There we go. Notice that we're not overwriting the command, the entry point. The entry point with the bin ash command. We want to test that this is working as expected. In this case, we're dropped into the Helix. I guess the editor right away. And if we searched for our code, we would find it. When we exit the editor, we are back in our terminal. All right, so like we're done, right? Not quite. The basic editor part is done, but Helix doesn't know how to work with any specific languages yet. So we'll need to fix that. It also looks terrible. All right, so we'll fix both of those in the next sections. All right, so next up, so we did this was in the Docker file section. Actually, I have Markdown installed. I can just do that. Yeah, so we just did create Docker file. So on a, okay, so that's level 3. So now, so Docker files, next up is, probably user is going to be very last thing that we do. So I think next is going to be to install Rust. Actually, do I want to do the terminal for color? I might want to do that. So if I go into Docker file, yeah, look at that. We have no colors there. So if I were to update you, actually, I can do that here by just saying environment term equals oh no, that doesn't work. Do I need to do anything else? Yes, there was an editor thing I need to do. Oh, there's a config. Oh, so I need the config first. Oh, right. So if I open up the config, we can do editor, true color, true, something like that. Config reload. That was a choice. That's definitely a choice for what to happen there. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, you know what we can do? We can copy in the config. Oh, but that's yeah, we could copy. Okay, so hold on. Let's do this again. We have term, xterm, 256 color. Okay, that should be fine there. And then I want to let's open the config. But I also want to open up this config. I guess we just copy everything. I want to open up this config and paste you, save you. We're gonna do config reload. And now everything looks good. We go to Docker file, config. Yeah, there's no config reload. So, okay, so apparently none of the tree sitter stuff is for Docker. That's cool. I guess it's not that surprising, but that for the config it works. So we know that's good to know. So that being said, I don't want to like run through like looking at that kind of thing. So we'll do that probably near the end. So next up would be Rust. Okay, so adding Rust support. So adding Rust support. We'll be using a let's see. We need Rust to do something. If you don't, one of the best benefits is if you don't have Rust, this will still work with your system because it's in Docker, which will be fine. So we'll be using an example Rust repo at should I just create? Do I have any like Rust repos that we could use? No, Express CRUD is not Rust. We can use the Axum Twitter clone. I think that'll work. So Axum Twitter clone. So Axum Twitter clone. I'll be using an example Rust repo at Axum Twitter clone. Let's clone the repo to our computer. No need to set up Rust to run it or support our editor to view it. We'll be setting that up in the Docker image. Let's see. So first steps is that we need to install. Okay, so we need to install Rust. Okay, we need to install the following to support Rust for Helix. So for Helix to properly run our Rust code to lint to properly what is it called? I don't want to say like to LSP our Rust code. That doesn't make any sense. To support Rust code. So what do we have here? We have GCC. So a C compiler like GCC. Oh, I installed Rust Up still here. I don't need to do that. Interesting. Okay. So we need a C compiler like GCC. Let's see, we have Helix, Treeser, Grammars. Okay, we have those. We need Rust Up. We need Rust. Rust, and then Rust Analyzer. Okay, so let's connect back to the okay, let's connect back to the image. Let's create another. Container and connect in using Ash to figure out how to install these. Okay, so we are at 3, so 4. 4 is going to be C compiler. I somehow got like a tiny hair in my mouth. It's weird and gross. Okay. It's probably a Zilby hair too. Let's see. Rust Analyzer. Okay, so APK. Turns out that APK has a GCC. Has 2 C compilers. GCC and Clang. Either will work. We'll use GCC here. Okay, so we're going to connect in with Ash. I'm not going to use that term, so we're not there yet. Nope, I did not want to get rid of code. Okay, so that. So we connect in to what? That's in entry point. Can I not override in an entry point? Oh, I can't override in the entry point. Oh. So we have to take that away. Interesting. I didn't realize. Wait a second. Can't I override the entry point with an override here? There's like a dash entry or something. Yeah, dash entry point, overwrite the default entry point of the image. Okay, so I want to do the same thing. We're going to do that. We're going to say entry point bin. Oh, no, I need to go this. entry point. Is it equals? I think it was space. Bin ash. Ash. There we go. Okay. Okay, so first off, let's connect another container and connect it into ash. However, we're since we set up an entry point, we cannot override it the same way we did with commands. The override would just end up being options to the Helix entry point, which is not what we want. Docker run has an entry point override we can use to set a new entry point. The ash shell. For some reason, mine was like the ash terminal. No, that's not right. The ash shell. So that's going to be we want this. Okay. Now we're in here. It turns out that APK has two C compilers, GCC and Clang. Either work, we'll use GCC here. And so now in here, we can just say APK, we already did update, so we don't need to do that again. So we're just gonna install GCC. Add GCC. Okay, and you're added in. Great. Rust and Rust Analyzer are going to be a bit more difficult. Okay, so while APK has has Rust up, fortunately, it isn't the right version. Break time in around 5 minutes or so. And I'll actually probably take this one as a break since we skipped the last one. Well, okay, so while the APK has Rust up, unfortunately, it isn't the right version. We'll need to download Rust up directly from. Okay, so we'll need to download Rust up directly from like Rust servers. And run it. The instructions are for curl, which isn't installed on Alpine, but wget is installed. So we'll need to update our command to work with. Okay, so we'll need to update our command to work with the install instructions. Okay. So in here, we're gonna do. Essentially we're gonna do this, right? So wget -o out to standard output the restup.sh. We pipe that into ash, dev standard in, say y automatically, and also tell it to install Rust Analyzer. Although I wonder if I should do the first one first. Is like, yeah, I probably should do it the other way around. Okay, so hold on. After this is done, we'll do this over again. First off, let's get GCC again, just to like get ourselves to the same point. Okay, now we're gonna do wget -o, and I want this to be restup.sh, and then it's just gonna be this thing. That's one, so that saves it to restup.sh. We have to chmod sx restup.sh, and now we can run it. So restup.sh. Proceed with installation. So one, we do that. Skyferus, hello. How are you doing today? What is a good VPN that is free? I'm not aware of any good VPNs that are free, and I'm not even aware of any good VPNs that are paid. There's too many unknowns with a lot of them. So, I mean, maybe I might be willing to do like the Firefox, the Mozilla VPN. Self-hosting a VPN on something like DigitalOcean or a VPS somewhere is also like I've seen a lot of people do that. There's some open source VPNs. I don't think I've looked through any of them, so I don't have any recommendations, unfortunately. But yeah, like what features are you looking for? Like obviously there's all those ones you see commercials for, and a lot of streamers and YouTubers have taken what is it called, sponsors from various VPNs. I've never used them before, so I can't really say anything about them, good or bad. Okay, so this installs. Okay, so step one is going to be use wget so code wget -o, we do this, and that drops me down there. Oh, ad breaks just started. Okay. I'm going to take a quick break. Skifferus, if you answer that question, what features you're looking for, we'll do our best to answer it. But I will be back in a few minutes. Ads? Are you actually getting ads? Usually people don't actually get ads, which I'm okay with. All right. I've been sitting down for 2 hours, so I'm gonna walk around for a little bit. I will be right back, probably with a new drink.